Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning. Let me set up this room real quick and then we can get started. It's 6:18 right now. We have about 12 minutes till market open. So I just want to get everything all set up and ready to go. All right, let's get right here. This right as well. Today is Thursday, November 17th. So happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. It's US holiday. For you guys here located in the States, let me go and just get everything all figured out right here. It's all set up. Good. All right, cool. That's all pretty much set up right there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the links right here for the Zoom. Looks good. Looks good right there. All right, guys. Good morning. I'm gonna let you guys join the room real quick. Once everyone's in the room, we can get started with our analysis. So I did make sure that the the mics are muted today, so we won't have that same issue that we did yesterday. Yeah, guys. Good morning. Let's see. I'll give it a few minutes for everyone to make their way in. Once everyone makes their way into the room, we can get started with our analysis and announcements for this day. So sit tight, guys. Let's give it a few more minutes. All right, cool. Looks like everyone's making their way in right now. Looks solid. Looks good. All right, guys. Good morning. It's 6:20 right now. Market is opening in about 10 minutes, so we'll allow for more people to make their way in. However, today is Thursday, November 11th, Veterans Day here in the U.S. So happy Veterans Day to you guys here who have served in the military forces. So with that said, today's the bank holiday. The market is open. However, it is a bank holiday. So you guys might want to be careful with, low volatility and whatnot. Let me just refresh this real quick. Let me see if there's anything else today. I think that's the only thing that's really going to affect the market. The fact that it's a bank holiday, we might see a lot of low volatility during the session. I don't think the market is necessarily closing. Today, I think Rick said something yesterday about it in the group. So let me see if I can pull it up. Over here, I believe Rick confirmed it. Rick posted it. I know it was like sometime yesterday. I remember you guys were talking about it. Yeah, so Rick said, FY everyone, there will be no trading on bonds market Thursday when the country observes Veterans Day, paying its respects to those who serve in the U.S. military. However, the stock market, with trading the Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500, and NASDAQ will remain open from 9:30 a.m., which is 6 o'clock our normal time, until 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so the market is going to be open as normal. Just one thing that I wanted to confirm was because in a lot of instances, if like for MLK in January, during MLK, I traded during that day because I didn't realize that the market was going to be closed. I forgot. And I lost one of my funded accounts because I traded during that time. So I'm still going to be a little bit careful today. I'm going to keep to like what my normally trading is, because what happened in January was the market closed from like 9 until 1. So it was closed for like 3 or 4 hours. And when it did that, it counted as a weekend trade. So I had a trade running. I wasn't able to close it in time. And then I lost one of my funded accounts on that day because it was a holiday. From Rick's confirmation right here, it looks like the market will be open. So we could probably take trades and it wouldn't be a problem, but I'm going to keep to what I normally do. And I'm going to stop treating it 8 because I just don't want to risk it. Even though like Rick did confirm it here, I do trust Rick's information. However, it's the worst feeling when you guys lose an account due to a technicality. Like it was like, I was so upset. I was like about to stop using FTMO when that happened, but thankfully I just brushed it off and I kept going. It's just a lesson that that there's never any real mistakes that you guys make. Whenever you guys make mistakes, it's always a lesson as long as you guys learn from it. So that's why I'm a little more careful with my trades, trading on during holidays, because I did lose one of my funded accounts during that time period. So yeah, if you guys do want to trade, just keep in mind that volatility is probably going to be low. From Rick confirmation, looks like the stock market's going to stay open. However, for me personally, I'm probably just going to stop trading on 8 today, just to be safe. Even though we do have the confirmation, I just don't want to risk it. So good morning, everybody. Let's see. Morning, Peter. Morning, Matt. Morning, Jennifer. Morning, Maria. Morning, Al. Morning, David. Morning, Lisa. Morning, everybody. And morning, the other Lisa. So we've got 2 Lisas here now. So morning to you both. It's 6:23 right now. Market is opening in about 2 minutes. So let's take a look at the market real quick and see what everything's looking like. So retail sentiment right now is 64% short. It's not that strong anymore, right? This whole previous week and the week before that, we were like close to like the high 70s, close to even the 80s in some instances. But today we're 64% short. So you can see that the market is now starting to stabilize, which is completely fine. If this happens right here, then we just won't really have a strong bias with regard to our retail sentiment, and we'd have to rely more on the fundamentals. So looking at the fundamentals right now, currently the futures data is 26 or 25 points in the green, so it's currently bullish. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay at that point when the market opens in the next 6 minutes. Looking over at the technicals over here, at the 1 minute, currently price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red, so that indicates that we have a sell bias right now on the 1 minute. Looking over at the 3 minute, same situation. We have a sell bias because price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red, indicating that price is likely to continue to the downside. So we have a sell bias here. Lastly, on the 10 minute, I'm going to refresh this. It's also below the pivots, but the trend meter is blue. Also, price is kind of just going sideways right here, right? You can see it's kind of in a range at this moment. Let's draw this there and draw this here. You can basically see that price is currently in a range right now, right? So it's indecisive right here on the 10 minute. The 3 minute and 1 minute, it's bearish. So I mean, for the most part right now, it's a bit indecisive. So we'll see what happens when the market does open. This doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay below, because you can see it's indecisive on the 1 minute as well. It's going from a sell bias to now a bullish bias. So if that becomes the case, then it's completely fine. Price can easily shift to the upside. There's no need for it to stay below. Also because retail sentiment is currently short. So we'll see what happens in the next couple minutes when the market opens at 7 o'clock or 7:30, 6:30, sorry. And once we have that, we can determine, which direction we want to trade in. So technicals right now are indecisive. They're not all pointing in one direction. The fundamentals are currently bullish right now, and the retail sentiment are a bit neutral because it's only 64% short. I know it is short, but it's not very strong. So the confluences right now don't really line up as much. Also, you guys want to keep in mind that today is a bank holiday. It's the Veterans Day here in the US. So with that said, you can see that if you add up your confluences, they don't add up very well, right? Because right now, this is kind of neutral. This is kind of neutral. We have news. We have a bank holiday today, so the market's kind of slow, low volatility. And then the technicals over here are neutral as well. They're indecisive. They're not one-sided. So all around, we have about 0 confluences for the day so far. When the market opens, obviously things may change because volatility will pick up, hopefully. If not, that's completely fine. We're going to continue watching for any possible entries as the market, goes along. So let's see. Good morning, everybody. I think we're good at this moment. Morning, Professor. Paul said, I am 2,000 away from the 5% target for verification. Nice, Paul. Yeah, even in so here's the thing I want to remind you, Paul. Don't get greedy and don't try to pass it with like a huge lot size, right? Because I've seen some people get really close to passing their FTMOs, and they're like on their last $500 of FTMO, right? And I've seen people take like huge lot sizes, and then the market just completely reverses on them. And then they end up failing when they were only like a few hundreds away from passing. So, just stick to what you're doing, Paul, because you're, and you have 7 days, so you're perfectly fine. Paul, just stick to what you've been doing, right? Use proper lot size, or you can even lower it if you like, because you're so close. And then, just wrap it up. That's pretty much, that's key right there. Just just getting it through. Duggan said I was going to sit out the session, but FOMO, F it, I'll do the first hour. Yeah, no, definitely Duggan. Yeah, I did read your message over there, Duggan, and I saw Lisa's message too. I guess the DAX changed to now DAX 40, which is pretty weird. I don't know, in my perspective, I've never. Well, I mean, it happens, and it's not that weird. It happens, but yeah, now that there's more stocks in that index, it's not going to move the same. So you guys just want to keep that in mind as well. So US 30, the reason why it moves so much faster than S&P 500 and NASDAQ is because there's only 30 stocks. So if one stock changes, it's going to move, right? Versus S&P, if one stock changes, not really going to do anything. Morning, Kenny. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, market is opening in about 2 minutes. When the market does open, we can confirm the direction with the fundamentals. And then from there, we can start looking for trades, in that direction. So market is opening shortly. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put all of the strategies so that we can be ready as soon as the market opens. That way we don't have any kickback with regard to what we're looking for here. All right, so there's the 1 minute strategies right there. There's the 3 minute strategies right there. Here's the snipe. Here. Let's turn off all these old alerts from yesterday. And the daily over here. So I haven't been taking the daily lately, guys, because of how the market's been moving. The markets have been like super choppy. I know it's been hitting on some days, and some days it just hasn't been hitting at all. It's been completely off. There's good reason for that because the market's usually not. It hasn't been moving how it normally has. So that's why I don't really take the daily. I do mark it up for you guys, for whoever wants to follow it, but I don't necessarily take it myself majority of the time because it's a bit of a risky trade. Let's mark these up right here. All right, actually, let me just go back real quick because the market is now open. Let's go back to the 1 minute over here. All right, looking at the 1 minute chart, guys, 1 minute is currently dropping. As we see it, let's pull up the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are currently 3 points in the red. They're not even that red right now. Looking at futures data is currently hasn't even changed. So price is dropping pretty heavy. Not sure exactly why, but we'll see. Let me just refresh this real quick. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna refresh this. All right. Well, the Dow is down right now, like 30 points. Looks like. Yeah, it's down about 30 points. Let me refresh this right here as well. Okay, so Walt Disney is down 12 points. That's really what's dropping it right now. Walt Disney is the thing that's really killing it right now. It's dropping super heavy because I don't know what's going on with Disney, but Disney is going down super heavy. It's down 12 points, and this is what I was just referring to earlier. So let's see. After inflation-driven sell-off. Okay, so right here it's saying that there's a inflation-driven sell-off that's going on right now. That's basically what's dropping it. I'm not sure what happened with Disney, but Disney pretty much spiked it all the way down. You can see it rejected off the Asia low right here. Right there. This is what's probably going to happen. I see price retracing all the way back up. So let's go back over here. I'm going to mark this up from the opening candle to 6 o'clock, 6:30. And what I'm going to do is the same thing that I've been doing every single day. I'm going to go over here and I'll mark up opening price. Right. So I see price coming back up and retesting the opening price. I don't recommend anyone just enter or buy just because you think it's going to come back up. Even though I do anticipate it to come back up, it might not come back up right now. It might come back up in a little while, but I do think it's going to come back up, and then I'm going to wait for it to confirm its direction after that. So looking at at this right here. So it's going to do what we normally see happening, right? Price is going to come back up to opening price, which is right there. And what will happen from this point is price will either break above and continue pushing higher, or it'll come right back down, right? It's the same exact pattern every single day. Sometimes it happens earlier, sometimes it happens later, but that's exactly what I see happening right here. Price is coming all the way back up, rejected off the Asia low, and then here we go as price comes all the way back up to opening price. So, you know, obviously with that said, that's what we're currently looking for at this moment. So here we go. As we wait and anticipate this this move right here. So as you can see, price starting to swing back down. It doesn't necessarily need to come all the way back up, but as you guys can see, it came exactly to that line, right? So as you guys can see, with the line that I drew right here, I drew this before it even happened. So you guys saw price came up, came to opening price, and then rejected offer, right? We have two different scenarios here. Price will either come up and continue pushing higher, or it'll come right back down. So as you guys can see, you know, there's no need to overcomplicate things. I literally do the line where we draw it every single day. It's the same pattern. Like, this is what you guys start to see when you guys trade one asset every single day for like years. I trade US 30 every single morning. Same thing happens every single day. Price came back up, retested opening price. It's coming back down, or it's going to shoot back up. So at this point, I'm just waiting for the confirmation of direction, right? If it wants to go down, that's completely fine. If it wants to go back up, that's completely fine too. It doesn't matter. I'll find a way to make money one way or the other. But the key here is to be patient, right? Because I know you guys get FOMO and you guys want to like hop into the trade right away, but that's not what you should be doing. You guys should be waiting for the confirmation before you guys hop into these trades, because you can get caught on the wrong side very easily. So just something to keep in mind. Obviously, you can see prices coming back down, but I'm not going to bandwagon onto that move just yet. Looking at the fundamentals, there's still 41 points in the red. They're not very strong. The main stock here that is red is Disney. So the thing with this right here, guys, is Disney is super red, but what do people generally do when price drops like that? People usually buy the dip, right? So when Disney dips far enough, this is going to start to turn green. It's not going to stay negative 12, negative 13 forever, unless something else pushes it down further. What could happen is people will buy the dip, and then this number will start to decrease and move into the green side. When that happens, then what do you think is going to happen to US 30? It's just going to swing all the way back up, right? So that's why you guys got to be careful when chasing these moves here. I never recommend you guys chase a move. If you see it dropping, don't just bandwagon onto it and try to catch it as it continues dropping. Unless there's an entry there. If there's an entry for one of the strategies that you're applying, then yeah, go ahead and enter it. But it's not something that you guys should just chase for no reason. So price is coming down to the New York low from yesterday. When it gets to this point, price will do one of two things. It'll either bounce off it, or it'll continue dropping, right? There's just, you know, whenever you guys look at a trade, you guys always have to look at both scenarios. Look at the scenario of it pushing that direction, and look at the scenario of it reversing and going the opposite way, so that you guys can have an idea of, you know, what to focus on and what to look out for. Because anything can happen, guys. Like, literally anything can happen. This price can easily bounce right back up at the last second. So just check this out, right? I already marked this lineup right here. Let's see what happens when this candle closes. Does it close below, or does it swing back up? So you can see price failed to close below. With it failing to close below, now it's at a critical price point. At this point right here, price is either going to bounce back up with a big green candle for a pullback, or it's going to continue dropping and then finally close below to confirm that drop down lower. So, and this is still me waiting for that confirmation. I'm not necessarily looking to enter the trade just yet. I'm just waiting to see what happens after this candle here. So yeah, played out perfectly, right? Price came up, retested the line, and then came right back down. So, and there's no entry here, right? So I'm looking at this, and like I mentioned, guys, if there's an entry, then, you know, by all means take the trade. But right now, there's no entry. There's nothing for the pivot scalp. There's nothing for the high-low scalp. There's nothing on the 3-minute. We had a sell signal here. So whoever caught the sell signal here at 6, you would have hit your TP already, right? Using the 3-minute. So whoever caught the sell signal here at 6, you would have hit your TP already. 3-minute pivot scalp right here. Using this strategy, confirm a valid K2 momentum signal right here pre-market, confirm that's below the pivots right there. So if you took that trade, you would hit your full TP already. But ever since the market opened, there hasn't been any entries that have become available. So nothing here on the 3-minute. Here on the 10-minute, for a snipe, let's see if there's any snipe entries here. There's actually a snipe that was right there. So the line that I was drawing earlier before market opened played out perfectly. So like right here, pre-market, you can see the rejection off the pivot, rejection off the structure. So that would have been a snipe entry. So whoever caught the snipe entry right there, great work. I'm not going to count the trade because I didn't take it and we didn't identify it when it came up. However, if you took the snipe entry right there, that'd have been your full TP right there already. So I mean, right, there's risk on a trade, how confident you feel about a trade. You can easily take trades like this if you see them there. Obviously, I didn't take it because I wasn't online at that time. But yeah, those are 2 entries that were available within the last hour or last 30 minutes. There was a snipe entry right here. There was a couple of snipe entries too. Actually, there was like 1, 2, 3 over here. We had this 3-minute pivot scalp. And then now looking on the 1-minute, there is nothing here yet. So looks like our bias might be a sell. However, it's just going to be a matter of time. We probably got to give it some more time for it to confirm its direction. Let me go back to the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are currently 65 points in the red. They're pretty heavy down to the downside, but it's not below 100 yet. Looking at retail sentiment, currently 62% short. And this is completely fine, right? Because I'm waiting for the dip, and then I think price is going to swing all the way back up. So it might not happen right now, but I do think people are going to buy the dip. So what I do expect here is, price will continue to drop for a while. And then what will happen is price will consolidate here a bit, consolidate a little further. And then for the reverse mid-market reversal, it's going to swing all the way back up. Because US 30 is a directional asset, right? You guys understand how US 30 moves. Like US 30 usually goes directional. So after it drops down, it's going to have to recover back to the upside. This isn't an asset that really drops for very long. Once it drops a huge drop like this, it usually recovers. And that's what it looks like. That's what looks like is happening here, because the only thing that's dropping it, so like, just so you guys understand, the only thing that's really dropping it right now is Walt Disney. If Walt Disney wasn't down 14 points, it wouldn't be dropping so hard. And the reason why it's dropping so hard is because it pretty much eats up all the green stocks, right? So like, for example, if you added all these green stocks right here, Nike, it's up 0.1, Walmart's up 0.9, Walgreens is up to 0.22, Apple's up 0.3, right? These are all so little movements. So in order for it to turn green, you'd have to have more green stocks, or the numbers here would have to be higher than the red ones here, right? Walt Disney here is negative 16 points almost. So it pretty much covers all of the green stocks. That's why it just stays down below, because it's stable below in the red. But once this starts to recover, then it's going to start to shift, right? Because then stuff's going to start turning green. And with that said, you're going to start to see price move right back to the upside. So, another reason why you should be patient with these moves, because there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? Don't get me wrong, price can continue to drop further. However, in my experience and from my perspective, as the market starts to shift further and further, because this is what happens. You see a lot of people who hop into the market later on. They're not here during open. They start to hop on around 7 o'clock our time, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And what happens when they hop on? They see Disney is able to be bought at a discount, right? They see that it's dropped so many points that, okay, it's time to buy this at a discount. So what happens is that people start to buy into it. And then what happens is a lot of different stock colors, like different stock groups, everyone's starting to buy it, right? Because everyone says, oh, Walt Disney is a strong buy because it's dropped so much. So what happens when all these people start buying Disney stock, like the actual stock, it starts to push it all the way up. And with that said, it's going to push US 30 up as it starts to decrease in its red zone right here. So It's all a game of psychology, guys. You guys have to think about what other people are thinking, right? What are other traders thinking? Long-term traders, people who are trading long-term and they want to trade these blue chip stocks like Disney. If they see it drop this much, they're going to start buying it because they're getting it at a discount. Um, and it's just a matter of time until people catch on. So that's why I'm just waiting for it here. I'm not necessarily looking for any sells at this point. If the entire index was red, then 100% I would look for some sells. But there's only one stock here that's really red, right? Walt Disney's down so much compared to everything else. Visa's down 3 points, United Health's down 2 points. But if you were to just take Disney out of the picture, everything else here would just balance out. Caterpillar's up 3 points, Salesforce is up 2 points, almost 3. Boeing's up almost 3 points. So if you were just to line them up right here and you took Disney out, the stock market, the index would actually be green. So I'm just going to wait. It's a matter of just waiting for the market to shift. However, if it stays below, that's completely fine. Say if these stocks here just all start to turn red and these get weaker and it starts to continue dropping lower and lower, then that's completely fine because then I can just, start looking for some sells. But looking at current price right here, you can see that it's trying to attempt to its recovery. But there's no entry here. So no entry here off this signal, even if it closes, because for the pivot scalp, you need it to close above the pivots. The pivots are way up here. Same with the high-low scalp. You need price to break and close past the high. The most recent high is right here. And this is what might happen. If price doesn't end up pushing above this Asia low, then it might establish a high right here, and then price will just start ranging on this 1 minute right here. So, I mean, it's just a game of patience. I'm going to be waiting for this. If you guys have questions, you guys can drop questions here. Let's check this out. So Randy just shared this link. Thanks, Randy. Randy said, Wall Street set to rise after inflation-driven rout. Disney shares tumble. Stock index is set to rebound on Thursday from two-day sell-off of prolonged inflation, while Disney tumbled as subscriber growth slowed in the streaming video service. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know who. Well, I mean, I know some people that have Disney Plus. It's usually people with kids, but it's not something I would waste my money on. I don't like Disney that much. I went to Disneyland yesterday, actually, but I don't like Disney that much too. So it looks like Walt Disney dropped 5.8% pre-market due to decline among the components. Reported smallest rise in Disney Plus subscriptions since the service's launch. I mean, also they haven't had really like any new movies lately. So, I mean, it's all given. Once they release something new, it's going to come back up, and probably around the holidays as well. A lot of people are home. So thanks for that, Randy. Little update on Disney, why Disney dropped. So the reason why Disney dropped is because their subscriber rate slowed down for their Disney Plus subscription application. So that makes a lot of sense right there. But even so, Disney is the type of company that's probably never going to go under. Like I went to Disneyland yesterday. Disneyland was so packed for the holidays. So I do see that recovering probably by tomorrow, if not by today. Like later today, people might buy the dip and then they'll bring it right back up. But I think currently right now, it's just the hype right now, the hype to sell off Disney, but I think it'll come back up. DeJohnson, not the Disney Plus slander. Yeah. Dejan here wants to be a Pixar or Disney animation artist. So like, no, I see Dejan here comes from a different perspective with regard to Disney. But no, what Disney does is amazing. It's like, I don't know, Dejan, if you've been to the new rides here at Disneyland. Like they have this new Star Wars land, and there's this ride that they have there that's like pretty crazy. It's super realistic. Yeah, if anyone's ever been or everyone's planning on going, definitely go on that ride. That ride's crazy. Super realistic in there. All right, anyways, going back to the charts over here, you can see price starting to make its way back up. We're still waiting. So at this time, there's not really much for us to look at. I'm currently looking at the fundamentals over here. Fundamentals are trying to make its way back up. It's negative 40. In order for it to switch its bias, it needs to be up above in the green. Also, in order for us to take trades for a buy, it needs to be in the positive over 100 points. So with that said, it's just going to be pretty much a waiting game at this point. Going back to this chart over here as well, you can see price. I think what's going to happen here, guys, is that it's going to start to, it's just going to go into consolidation and ranging for a bit, because it kind of made this drop right here, and then now it's starting to try and make its way back up. However, like I mentioned, if price doesn't break and close past this Asia low, then I do anticipate it to establish a new high here. And then when it establishes a new high, it's just going to consolidate and range sideways for a bit. So that's pretty much what we're waiting for at this point, just to see what happens when price passes past this thing right here. Paul said Nas isn't lining up the fundamentals, haven't taken the trade yet. So that's smart, Paul. I know you have you're really close to passing your verification. So it's good to be smart today, especially since you have 7 days left, right? You really only need like a few good trades. You need like about 1, 2, maybe 3 good trades, and then you're done. So, I recommend you be as patient as possible, unless like you see something that's really good, then hop into it. But, like with the confluences, not a lot are lining up. So going to the retail sentiment right here, this is currently 62% short. So with that said, this is indicating that it is bearish, but it's not a strong bearish bias. And the reason for that is because it's so like this needs to shift from like 60% to 50%, within a matter of moments. So this here, not very strong. Fundamentals refreshing this right here. Currently 46 points in the red, not very strong either. Looking at the stock index right here, refreshing this. Not very strong either. The only thing that's really holding it down is Disney. However, the other stocks aside from Disney, if this is pulled out of the equation, are pretty much normal, right? So if we took Disney out of the equation here and this was just not there, then it would just be at 0, because you can see right here, Visa is down 4 points, Salesforce is up 4 points, but it's higher. Boeing's up 3 points, United Health is down 3 points, Johnson & Johnson's down 1 point, Goldman Sachs is up 3 points. So realistically, if you took off Disney right here, if you were to X this out, the stocks would actually be green. Like it would be a bullish market. So that's kind of why I see price going to the upside, because there's only one stock here that's really weighing it down at this moment. But when people start to buy it from that low price, it'll start to recover to the upside. So going back over here, you can see the line that the area that I drew up, right? Price hasn't broken above it. That's going to be the main key. If price breaks above it, then that's obviously going to be the breaking close past that structure. However, right now price hasn't done that, and it's probably just going to go sideways. Also, this high right here has already been invalidated. Reason for that is because it got invalidated on the following candle. A high was established here and it touched on the next one. So with that said, it doesn't fit the first requirement here. We can't confirm the previous swing high because 4 or 5 candles must pass to establish it, which did not happen here. Yeah, I think that's it right now. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. I'll answer any questions that you guys have. But currently right now, as you guys can see, we're just pretty much waiting for something to come up here. Let's go back to the 3-minute. So let's go 3-minute over here. Currently price is just moving alongside over here. Not really much for us to look at this moment. Price is swinging up to the upside. However, there's not going to be an entry, because even if we get a buy signal here, price needs to close above these 2 pivots in order for it to confirm for an entry using this strategy here. However, if it does close with a valid buy signal, then it could easily qualify as a daily entry off the 3-minute, even though it's an unfinished in progress strategy. I'll mark it up for you guys to see how it plays out. But yeah, just looking at the 1-minute here, still fails to break and close past it. Other than that, I think that's it for now. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing. Going over to this chart over here. So let's see how it played out yesterday, if my markup is still on here. Okay. So as you guys can see, it played out sort of, not that strong, but it did play out sort of. So you can see price, it came down, but it never came to test it, right? So it didn't really move very much yesterday, but it did do the mid-market reversal from like 10 to like 12 over here. Because price was going up, consolidated, and it finally reversed right here. Comparing it to the day before that, it was actually really clear. So as you guys can see, our markups from yesterday right here, or the day before yesterday, it played out perfectly. Price came down, it never came up for a retest. It just came sideways, consolidated, and then reverse from 10 to 12. Similar to what we're expecting over here. If price doesn't come back up, then it might just continue dropping lower, consolidate for a bit, and then reverse from 10 to 12 during the mid-market reversal. So it's just a matter of time, matter of patience, matter of just waiting. So yeah, Paul just said NASDAQ started following fundamentals. So looking at that, looks like Paul's going to start taking a trade here off NASDAQ. So let me just go back to US 30 real quick. You can see price still hasn't broken and closed past the line here, right? Same thing that we drew earlier, still hasn't done it. So as you guys can see, price is not going into consolidation. It's ranging within this area, which is completely fine. If that becomes a case where it just ranges within here, that's just, that's what the market's giving us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this high a little lower so that you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at here. So with that said, you guys can see how now this is the range. If price ends up, bouncing around this area, then obviously I'll change the low a little higher, and then you guys can see that price will just continue to move, alongside. All right, so price is literally just going sideways right now. It's been going sideways for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So about 10 the past 10, 12 minutes, price has just been going sideways. Let's see, Paul looks like he's might have been inside a NASDAQ trade. Let me just go over here and check real quick. CNBC, refresh this. All right, so looking at the indexes right now, currently S&P is up, NASDAQ's up, Russell 2000 is up. The only stock index that is down right now is the Dow 30. Look at the Dow 30. This American customers who pre-ordered electric SUV and trucks made millions off IPO pop. I forgot which, because I did buy some stock with one of these electric companies. Oh damn, okay. Oh, it's Lucid, yeah. So I actually have some stock in some Lucid, not Rivian. I bought Lucid back in like October, September, October, or even before that, actually. I think in August. So in August, I bought Lucid. I'm up like 100% right now because I heard from people within the industry that they were going to be releasing their retail cars in October. Obviously, they didn't release them yet, but they started working on them to be released, and that's just one of my long-term holds. Not Rivian, but Lucid. So hopefully, it keeps pushing up. But yeah, whoever bought Rivian looks like they made a pretty big profit off that right there. Let me go and just refresh this real quick. All right, yeah, so the stock index right here, I mean, everything's mostly green right here. It looks like US 30 might be shifting to the green side if, everything holds. Going back over here to US 30, you can see price hasn't really moved at all. The new low is going to be established right here. So as you guys can see, this is now the new low. And then you guys can kind of see where the range is going, right? If I take everything off the chart, this pretty much cleans it up for you. And you can see how price is just going sideways. And just a reminder, guys, like these indicators here, these K2 indicators, all of these are just like training wheels for you guys. This is going to help you guys identify things in the market. It'll train your eye what to look for. For me, I created all these indicators because this is what I was looking for already by myself, on my own. But these indicators help you guys see what I'm seeing without me having to really be confusing at all, right? You just turn the indicator on. You can see the highs and the lows. I mark up the high, I mark up the low. If you take that off, you can see that price is now in range. So these indicators aren't necessarily an end all be all, and they're not all required. They just help you with identifying where price is going. So like, for example, if you're trading naked charts, you see how clean this looks? Like if I take everything off right here, you can see how clean this looks right here, right? You can do this on your own perfectly fine. But these indicators make things so much easier. Instead of you guessing where the highs and the lows are, you just turn the high-low indicator. You already know exactly where the highs and the lows are. Same with identifying the trend, right? You can see that that price is trending down. Like, check this out, guys. You can easily draw the trend yourself. But why would you do that when you can just look at the trend meter down here? It already tells you where the trend's going. So, and same with the pivots, right? So right here, you can see that price is trending down. You know, if you don't want to do all that work and identify that just on the pivots, price has been below the pivots for a while. So these indicators here help you guys identify things. They're not necessarily required because you can do this by yourself. But the thing is, I've been trading for like 11 years now. So I can do this by eye. I don't have to use indicators. For you guys that are new here, this is going to help you guys a lot with identifying things. So you don't have to like guess. Literally, you just turn things on and you already know price is trending down. You turn on the momentum indicator. You already know to take sells right here, right? Because you know exactly where price is going. You know, you don't have to go back and look at where the previous session high lows are, right? You just turn on the sessions indicator and you're like, okay. So I turn that on and I'm like, okay, where was price yesterday during Asia session? You have the line right here. So you know this is exactly what the low was. You want to see where the previous low was for New York session yesterday. It's right here. You want to see where the previous Asia high is. It's right here. So as you guys can see, these indicators here make things a whole lot easier. And it takes away any room for mistake. Because the thing is, we're all human, right? Humans make mistakes. Robots here, these algorithms I created, they don't make mistakes. They tell you exactly where things are. So that's why I created these indicators to help you guys identify these things. I mean, once you guys get good enough, you probably won't need them. But over time, when you get used to using these indicators to help you see what I see, you're never going to want to not use them, right? Because they just make things a whole lot easier. So, you know, whether you want to do all the hard work and miss, you know, a lot of potential trades, that's, you know, by all means. But if you want a shortcut to help you look for things without actually having to do all that work, that's what the indicators are here used for. So, you know, I just want to be give that as a reminder to you guys that, you know, these indicators aren't necessarily what's giving you the trades. They're just showing you what to look for. I have the requirements here, and then you have the indicators. It's showing you what to look for. But once you already have this stuff down, you can identify this stuff without the indicators, right? But you know, it's a small price to pay to be accurate. And with trading, accuracy is everything. So nice work, Paul. Paul said that he locked in another 1,000, so he's 900 away from getting funded. So great work right there, Paul. You know, it's just a matter of time till you get funded. So great work there. And I mean, we're still waiting. So as you guys can see, pretty much price is ranging just like we anticipated. This whole time I was mentioning if price fails to break and close past this Asia high, then price is going to go into a range of consolidation, right? And what happened? Price is now in consolidation. So this is the skill that I'm trying to teach you guys, right? I'm trying to help you guys understand how to read the markets, how to read the charts, in combination of like everything, not just technicals, but looking at the fundamentals, looking at the stock index, looking at retail sentiment. All this stuff goes hand in hand. And it's really simple, right? A lot of people try to make trading a lot more complicated than it really is. In reality, it's all about using the strategy that works and then looking at your confluences. If your confluences line up and they match up with the strategy, then that's all you need, right? I keep things as simple as possible. And that's why we continuously win here at K2, because I keep it simple, straight to the point. But yeah, I mean, other than that, guys, if you guys have questions, go ahead and drop the questions in the chat. I'll be here waiting for something to come up. There's nothing coming up right now. Obviously, price is just going sideways. If there's no questions, then we'll probably wrap this up a little early, around 7:30. I'll be on here for a while, but just want to give you guys a heads up that if there's nothing for us to cover and there's no questions, then there's really no point in us sitting in this slow market. You guys got to remember today's a bank holiday, so the market is kind of slow. It's a US holiday at that. So, you know, with it being a US holiday, banks closed, volatility is going to be low because the big players aren't in the market right now. There just isn't anything for us to look at here at this moment. Main's asking about this 1 minute sell signal. So I probably wouldn't have taken it because price is consolidating, right? You generally want to take it when price is moving directional. I mean, you could have taken it if you wanted to, but the confluences didn't line up. So Main, going back to my whole explanation here, right? If you look at the confluences here, retail sentiment is a little short. I generally don't want to trade in the direction of retail sentiment. Looking at fundamentals here, fundamentals aren't very strong to the short side, right? It's only 51 points in the red. So if you guys are using these checklists, you know, basically everything I'm looking for, you guys would understand why I wouldn't take it. And that's the reason why I wouldn't take it there, you know, being straight up. because retail sentiment short, fundamentals aren't that strong. Everything here is just not, there's not much going in one direction, right? It's just ranging. So like there's a lot of red flags here. One red flag is IG sentiment is short. You don't want to trade with them. Second red flag is that the sell bias isn't that strong. I know there's a sell bias here, but it's not like below 100 points. Third red flag, it's a holiday. Volatility is low. Fourth red flag, price is ranging right here, right? So there's just so many red flags that are making the trade risky. Obviously, you know, some other people could take this trade here if you guys like to be risky, but for me, I don't like losing trades. So I'm not going to go and take a trade here that could possibly hit, but could possibly not hit as well. So if you were to take this trade, it probably would have hit TP already though. So like this right here, main, if you took it, it would have hit TP right away. So you'd have to be in like right away, like, you know, as soon as it closed up. So if you're waiting for the, let's go back. We'll go back and replay it right here. So if you guys are waiting for this trade, you'd have to enter it like super right away, because this is what Main was talking about. So he's looking at the pivot scalp right here. There's a sell signal. It's below the pivots. There's a lot of reasons here why you would take it. So if you took it, you had to enter it right away, because as soon as you entered it, it TP and then it swung all the way back up. But the main reason why I wouldn't have taken it, Main, is because price was ranging, and also it was in the direction of retail sentiment. So I personally wouldn't have taken it, but as you can see here, it would have hit, and that's just me being conservative. So I personally wouldn't take it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people here who would have. Talking about Rick, I don't know if Rick's in here. Rick is in the room today. He is, yeah. So yeah, Rick probably would have taken it and would have made profit off it, because he likes to take risks, right? There's certain people in the group who like to take risks, which is completely fine as long as you guys are managing your risk properly. Are you serious, Rick? So Rick said I did a 3 lot. Knowing Rick, he probably did take it. So I mean, it just depends on the person, right? For me personally, I wouldn't take it because I don't like taking risky trades like that, but some people do. So let me just go over here real quick and see what's going on. So going back to the bottom over here, Paul. All right, so a couple people locked in some profit. Let's see. So pre-market over here, we had Valley over here. Valley locked in 5,000. Nice work, Valley. Again over here, Valley locked in overnight, locked in 5,933. Lisa over here locked in a total of 1,135. Nice work, Lisa. Paul over here, he took that buy off NASDAQ. He locked in a total of 1,002. Nice work, Paul. And he's almost there. So as you guys can see right here, looking at Paul's progress from November 8th till November 11th, he's had all wins, right? It's been all green days for him. So on November 8th, he made 1,000, November 9th, 1,000, November 10th, 1,000, November 11th, almost 1,000. And then today, well, today's November 11th, so it's still running. He made basically 1,000 at that point after that next win. So definitely great work right there, Paul. So just keep it up. But this is what I'm trying to get across to you guys, right? Consistency. You guys want to be consistent. You guys want to have pretty much all wins here for the day. You want to close the day out in green. Looks like Paul's his goal here is to lock in 1,000 a day, which is great. You know, if you guys do the math with that, if your goal is to make 6 figures a year, which is 100,000, it's really simple. You just need to make about $416 or $460 a day. For Paul here, so for example, if he's making 1,000 a day times 5 times 4. So here, I'll break that down. If Paul makes 1,000 a day, we trade 5 days a week times 5 times 4 weeks in the month times 12 months in the year. He can make 240,000 just taking, you know, keeping at that, making 1,000 a day. So as you guys can see, if you can be consistent and just continue to lock in about 1,000 a day, this is the possibilities of what you can make. Obviously, if you made more per day, it's very possible to make a lot more, but you know, it's just breaking down exactly how much you want to make and then doing the math to determine how much you need to profit per day. And that would be your goal. All right, so scrolling up over here, Ensong over here locked on a total of 8,369. Nice work, Ensong. Scotty over here locked in a total of 1,456. Nice work, Scotty. So a lot of people here are just listening to my analysis and taking trades as I speak, even though I'm not taking trades myself. And that's key, right? If you guys are able to do that, you guys can be very lucrative just doing that on its own. The market right now is just not moving smooth at all, so that's why I'm not really taking trades. But if it does smoothen out, then obviously I'll start taking some trades. Currently, right now, it's not. So We're just waiting at this moment. But you guys can see that the range is getting tighter and tighter, right? As the range gets tighter and tighter, that's a good thing because it's going to prep for a breakout, either a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside, which doesn't really matter to us because either way, we'll be looking to take that trade when it does reveal itself. Let's see if there's any other profits here. Albert over here sent his profits in. Albert locked in a total of 960. Great work right there, Albert. Let me go down over here. Vincent locked in a total of 6,797. This is all from today. Nice work, Vincent. Gene Vaughn over here locked in a total of 514 or 541. So it doesn't matter, guys. You guys can see here, if you guys have a big account or a small account, you can still lock in some pretty nice profit. A big account, you could lock in, thousands right here. Locked in almost 7,000 for the day, Vincent. Going over here, Maddie locked in a total of 9,058. He said nice. He made 900 today, but for the week, he's up almost 10K. So great work right there, Maddie. Roman over here, he took a little quick trade, locked in a total of 778. Nice work, Roman. He traded ETH and then US 30s where his big win came from right there for a buy. Nice work, Roman. And as you guys can see, I didn't take any trades myself, so I'm not in profit, but a lot of people here are in profit this morning, just identifying these things. Here's Brian. So Brian's one of our golden child here at K2. He's been like really consistent. So, consistency again right here. Brian locked in a total of 2,715. All wins, no losses right here for Brian. He trades pre-market, trades Asia session, and then right here he trades also currently. So he's in profit a total of 2,715 for the day. This is his equity chart here on FTMO. You can see how consistent he is, right? Straight pushes to the upside. Looking at his trades here, so from November 3rd to November 4th, he locks in about 4,000, from about 2,000 to 6,000 a day. So November 3rd, he locked in 4,200. November 4th, he locked in 3,200. November 5th, 6,100. November 8th, 2,400. November 9th, 2,300. November 10th, 3,200. And then again today, November 11th, 2,700. So as you guys can see, that's the consistency that I'm trying to teach you guys here so that you guys can continue to do very well with us at K2. There was an entry right here that I just missed, unfortunately, for the high-low scalp. It moved too fast for me to really identify it. Right here, we had this low established. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the fifth candle right here. So it would have established the low. You can see price break and close past it right here. And this would have been a sell using the high-low scalp. Unfortunately, I missed it, but hopefully some of you guys caught that. Really, really, really quick move to the downside right there. Yeah, I totally missed it. It happened within the last 2 minutes. So I missed it, but looks like a lot of people did catch it. So Matty over here just said took that high low, retraced a bit, so he waited and then he hopped in. So great work right there, Matty. Great work to everybody here who caught that trade. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it, so I'm not going to count it as a trade for today. I'm only going to count trades that I take myself or trades that we catch here on the live before they actually happen. Yeah, other than that, this low has been used, so this is now going to be the new low down here. All right, other than that, see if there's anything else right here. I think that's it for now. Other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. So Cheryl said, shoulda, woulda, coulda, just had to sell at Monday open. So looking at this right here, she's pretty much marking up the opening moves. So there's some pretty smooth moves around here. I mean, not very smooth, but yeah, a lot of nice sells over here for New York. Tokyo went sideways. Yeah, so nice markups right there, Cheryl. It's pretty much marking up the charts here with regard to how price has been moving. Nice. So Sam caught it as well. So there's a good handful of people here who caught that sell. I missed it, obviously, myself. So unfortunately, I missed it, but looks like a good handful of you guys here did catch that trade. If you guys do have questions or anything that you guys want me to cover, go ahead and drop in the chat. It's 7:12 right now. I'm hoping to catch at least one trade before we get off this live session. If it doesn't come, then that's completely fine. There's no real need for me to take anything that's too risky. It's still a bank holiday. It doesn't change the fact that today's going to be a bit of a risky day due to the bank holiday. However, if I see something good, then I'm going to take it. Obviously, it's just going to be a matter of waiting for it to play out. So it doesn't look like price is gonna be coming back up right here. You can see I'll just delete this, but you can see at this point, price played out exactly how we identified earlier, right? Price came up, retested the opening price, and it came right back down. And then as we get close to 8 o'clock, price is probably going to go into some consolidation. So that's something to also look out for and expect, right? There's really there's no surprise here. All right, other than that, let's see if there's anything else here for me to look at. I don't know if retail sentiment has changed at all. Retail sentiment is currently 62% short, hasn't changed at all. Looking at the fundamentals over here, fundamentals are currently 81 points, 85 points in the red. Once it gets below 100, then, like I mentioned before, that's going to confirm that it's a strong bias for sell, and then I'll be more inclined to take sells. However, right now, sells would be completely fine because it's lining up with the fundamentals here. So if this continues to drop lower, that's completely fine. We have a low right here. So what I'd be looking for is for price to break and close below this line. If it breaks and closes below the line, then this will confirm that we have a sell available. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just what's waiting for that to happen. All right, so I guess I'll just sit around for a few more minutes. It's 7:14 right now, so about 15 more minutes to go until 7:30. If I don't see anything good, then I'm not really going to take the risk today. And like one thing that I also want to remind you guys that you guys don't have to take every single trade, right? Like for that right there, I probably could have hopped into that trade late, but I didn't. The key thing here is to not chase the trade, right? If you guys miss the move, then just wait for the next one. I could have easily hopped into this right here. I could have got FOMO, price would have closed out right here, and I could have entered for a sell. And then as soon as I entered for that sell, price would have reversed to the upside, right? That's why I never chase trades. And I see this happen to a lot of people. Like for example, right here, we had the sell entry come up for high-low scalp, right? So what happens, and I see this happen all the time. This trade was supposed to be exited right. What happens is people get a win. They think they can catch a drop even further. They enter the sell down here, but that's the worst thing to do because if you would have entered a sell down there, look what happened next. It reversed all the way back up. So never chase a trade, guys. If you miss a trade, just wait for the next one, because there's always going to be another trade. That's something that you guys gotta remember. There's always going to be another trade. So if you miss anything, just wait for the next one, or just be patient with regard to what you decide on taking. Because you don't have to take every single trade. You don't have to trade every single day. Like today, if I don't catch anything, it's completely fine because I made a lot of profit this week already so far. You guys have seen my profits for this week, right? So showing you guys my week profits, I'm already up like almost, let's see. We can even add it up here so that you guys can see how much I'm up this week. So 7,877.99 plus 7,677.98. So this is how much I'm up for this week so far. It's only Wednesday. So the thing is, I'm not taking any risky trades because if I take a risky trade, then this can easily deplete really quickly. So if I take one trade and it loses, that's like negative 6,000, right? I go from 15K to 9K when I could have just sat out the market and waited. So it's just just a matter of being patient, waiting. Oh yeah, CJ said it's Thursday. Sorry guys, it is Thursday. I forgot yesterday was Wednesday because I didn't really trade. I didn't trade yesterday either. So I didn't trade yesterday and I didn't trade today. But I'm still up like 15K. So that's like more than I was making as an attorney every month. So it's it allows for me to just be patient and just wait for the next win because I don't like losing trades, guys. I don't like losing trades as much as everyone else. Or actually, I don't like losing trades a lot more than everyone else, and that's probably a good quality to have. Let's see, a question from Henry over here. Henry said, "Do you know if Rwanda is letting U.S. traders trade US 30?" No, they don't, Henry. Indices aren't allowed for US clients. You have to trade the future if you want to trade on a US broker, which would be something like TradeStation or TD Ameritrade. Caitlin's asking, hey, Sean, do you adjust the horizontal race to the most recent high lows, or do the high lows go into the strategy also? So I adjust these as they go. These rays here are, I draw these myself. They're not there normally. So I draw these as price gets tighter. And the only reason I do that is so I can identify where price is going. Like, for example, right here, if I have these rays drawn over here, I can see that price is ranging, right? Let me read your question again. Sorry. So you said you adjusted it. Yeah. So the high low and the low highs, they don't necessarily go into the strategy right now. I know other people use it for that. But I personally don't use it for that. I just adjust them myself. So going back to your question is, yeah, I adjust them myself. But when I do adjust them, I only adjust them if they are established. So for example, this was established, right? Because there was like 4 or 5 candles after it. And then again, this one right here. This one's almost established because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is gonna be 4 candles. So with that said, this to be established. However, something like this over here. So let me just rewind. Yeah, okay, there we go. Like this right here. You can see how this right here was the high. However, it touched it up with the next candle. Right? I would leave it up here because this would be the high and it hasn't been invalidated yet. But this right here has been invalidated. I just wait for the next one. Sorry, TradingView is kind of lagging right now. All right, I'm not going to use the replay function because the market is kind of, the platform is really laggy. But you kind of get the gist of it, Caitlin, right? So I do adjust them as they go. I don't necessarily use the low highs. I don't use like the labels here, if that's what you're referring to. Like these labels, just because they're a low high and high low, I don't use them for anything specific. I just adjust them as they go. Obviously, the highs are gonna be on top, lows are gonna be on the bottom, so that's what I look for. But I don't necessarily point them out just because you're a low high or high low. I know there's other people in the group that do use them for that specific reason. Like for example, here, there's a strategy that I've seen other people use where they'll look for higher highs. So they look for higher highs and they generally anticipate price to drop from there, right? Same with like lower lows. They'll look for lower lows and they'll anticipate price to push up from there. But it's not something that I personally use. You can use it if it helps you. But for me personally, I don't use it for anything like that. At least not yet. Once I figure out other ways to use it, then obviously I'm going to teach you guys and explain to you how to do it. But for me personally, I try to keep it as simple as possible. And this is what's been working for me. Professor said, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, Caitlin is referring to the labels. Yeah, so I don't use them myself, but I've seen other people use them. So you might want to pop into the group, just pop into the premium, and then just ask people like, hey, does anyone use this for this specific reason? Because you'll probably find a couple of people who do, and they can probably explain to you what they're looking for. But this is all experimental right now. Everyone's just pretty much testing out what they see and what they can do with these indicators, and then we pretty much just share ideas with each other when it comes to that point. Let's see, Professor said, Sean, when do you anticipate you will do a mentoring session for the high-low strategy? So we're probably going to do it. The thing is, like, I'm still not, because the TP stop loss, that's the main thing. The strategy is already fine as it is. So we can probably do a mentoring session next week. It's still going to be an unofficial coverage of the strategy because we don't have a TP stop loss in mind yet. I've been using the same one as the 1 minute pivot scalp, 100 to 300, because it works so well. However, the main difference is going to be like the HS session because I go for a half TP, but then the stop loss needs to be figured out. So hopefully we can do that next week, Professor. We can get together next week. We'll have a mentoring session where I can answer all the questions and go over the strategy a bit more in detail without officializing it yet, because I don't want to make it official and then have to change the strategy a week or 2 weeks later when I find something new. So we'll go over that hopefully next week, if not next week, the week after. I know it's Thanksgiving coming up, so I want to make sure that everyone can attend the session. But yeah, I think next week might work for us. So I'll keep the date in mind, and I'll put up a poll to see when you guys want to meet up. So hopefully next week we can do that. Other than that, guys, I don't really see much else here. If you guys have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. It's 6:23 right now, so it's getting close to 7:30, usually the time that I stop trading. And I personally haven't seen any good trades available. I know we have a sell signal right here, but like I mentioned before, guys, I'm not looking to take any sells yet until the market confirms it. Looking over at the fundamentals over here, I'm going to refresh this. It's at 96, or it's at 89 points in the red. It's not 100 points yet. When it gets to 100 points, then I'll look for some sells. But currently right now, it's still not at that point. Also looking at retail sentiment, I'm going to refresh this. It's currently 61% short. So with that said, the short bias is starting to dwindle and it's starting to go towards a neutral bias, where if it gets below 60, that's pretty much going to be neutral for the most part. And you can just take trades in either direction because the retail sentiment isn't going to really be a strong factor in the market as the market starts to shift the other way. Fundamentals are probably going to be more key here. So keep refreshing this to see how it moves. It's on negative 90. Also looking over here at the stock index. Let's see if anything here has changed. Disney now is not very strong for a sell. I mean, it still is strong for a sell. It's down 13 points, but it's not down like 17 points like it was about an hour ago. You guys can see that people are starting to buy the dip, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the dip's going to happen and people are going to buy it. Also looking over at the futures data, I'm going to refresh this. Currently 88 points in the red. So not very strong. It's still in that vicinity of it being above not necessarily below 100 just yet. So going back over here, you can see that price is ranging. That's another red flag. You want to make sure that price is not consolidating or ranging. What I'm looking for is for price to break above it, come back for a retest, and continue pushing on, right? That's like one direction. Vice versa for a sell, I want to see it do that in the opposite direction, right? I want price to come below, come back for a retest, and continue dropping, right? This is how you want to trade. You want to trade when price is moving directional, not when it's going sideways. Because the problem is if you're trading when it's going sideways, this could happen or this could happen, right? Which side you're going to choose? It's really hard to choose which side because you can enter a sell and price goes up and you're going to be upset. You can enter a buy, price goes down and you're going to be upset. So instead of being upset, just wait for it to confirm and just trade in that direction. So it's really key, guys. Patience is the biggest factor with trading. And from my experience and from working with you guys here for years now, that's usually like everyone's biggest problem. It's patience. You guys can see here that I have a lot of patience. I wait for the trades to show up, and even if they show up, if they don't fit my criteria, I don't take the trade. And that's why I'm able to stay consistent with my profits every single day. That's why if you guys see me post my profits, some days I don't even post profits. Like yesterday, I didn't post any profits. I showed my profits for the week, but for the most part, I took these in Asia session. So I took these trades in Asia session, but other than that, no trades from yesterday, no trades from me today, which is fine with me because I'm already up 15K for the week, so it's not a big deal. But that's what's key there, guys. So as you guys can see, price is starting to shift over here to the buy side. Price actually broke above it, and this would technically be a buy using the high-low scalp. Let's see if I could. I gotta adjust my TP a little bit. So I kind of entered that late. FOMO'd into that trade like an idiot, but whatever. So I got to what I gotta do here is I gotta adjust my TP so that I can pull out of this trade when it reaches that point. So I'm still in a position right here. I'm about to pull out as it reaches that point. I entered late. Got in for a late little move right there. Move my stop loss in profit. Let's see. No, I'm not gonna move in profit. I'll just wait. So as you guys can see, I mean, you guys can sometimes they're a risky trade, sometimes they're not. I would consider this a risky trade. Reason for that is because the fundamentals were a sell, so that's why I don't really recommend people enter trades like that. However, it's not a strong bias just yet, right? So yeah, I don't recommend anyone enter trades like that ever unless you guys like know what you're doing. What I did was I moved my I entered late. I moved my TP close so that when it does push up, I can pull out of the position. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to close out of that. So if you guys have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty much going to just call it a day right now. I got to do some stuff right now, back office. If you guys email me, so like one thing that I got to do today is I got to get through these emails. I wasn't in the office all day yesterday, so I have like, see, I have 1,400 emails to get through from the weekend up until today. So if you guys do have questions, feel free to reach out. If you guys do send me an email, it's probably gonna take a while for me to respond. So your options are better to message me through Telegram than through email, because it's probably gonna take a while for me to get to you. So I think that's it for now, guys. If you guys have questions, drop them in the chat right now. Otherwise, we'll be wrapping up this session shortly. So let's see. Yeah, Maddie said time to go to the barbershop. See you all tomorrow. So yeah, Maddie, we'll see you tomorrow. And I'll give you guys an update on that trade as we continue on. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for now. And if you guys do have questions, reach out to me through Telegram or through email. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow as we wrap up the session. But for now, I think you guys should just be careful. Today's still a bank holiday, so volatility is going to be low, vice versa, until this has confirmed its direction. So until then, guys, I'll catch you guys then. Otherwise,